Hey guys, it is your girl Jade Ashley, and I want to welcome you back to a new video of When a Beat Drops. And like always, you know I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats and music of this week, so you know you have to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into this week's beats. And first and foremost, I have to apologize because for this first beat of the week, I did not remind y'all that this was happening, and I said I was, and I really forgot about it until the day that it happened. And I am talking about J. Cole's HBO special for his Forest Hill Drive homecoming concert. Like, I had mentioned it in my New Year's video, and I said to y'all, I'm going to remind y'all when it comes on. And I completely forgot. Like, I tweeted like, I'm sorry y'all. So hopefully y'all followed me on Twitter and saw the tweet and remembered, or you know, HBO definitely repeated it a couple of times, so, and then they still may actually be repeating it, I don't know. But I did watch it, and I just want to talk about this. It was so amazing. It was so inspiring to me. Like, I just loved everything about his HBO special, following him. So first and foremost, if you guys followed his, he did like a web series, I guess you can call it, like a docu-series, like online, where there were 4 videos, and basically that was kind of leading up to what this HBO special, well, I'm pointing to the TV like it's on there, but what the HBO special was. And basically he did his Forest Hills Drive tour this summer, and basically how the 4-part video that was leading up to the HBO special kind of went. He showed us like what it was like preparing for that one big show that happened in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is his hometown, which is why it was called Homecoming and stuff like that. Get it? So you know, he was going through cities throughout the country and stuff like that. We kind of got to see, you know, what it was like for him releasing the album late back in 2014. And you saw like the work that he put in to like actually do the album, what the album meant to him. And then we got to see him visit different cities, and you know, like as he was visiting these cities and stuff like that, the venues, you know, were getting like bigger and bigger and bigger. So he would do like small venues, you know, medium-sized venues, and then like bigger venues. And then obviously, you know, when he went back to North Carolina, that was like the big crowd and stuff like that. So we kind of seen like the trials and tribulations, the things that he did like, the things that he didn't like, you know, things that he thought about on the way as the tour was going on that he wanted to add for the next show, and so forth and so forth. We kind of got to see like the path, the transition, the process leading up to what we saw on HBO last week, or last weekend, the day that the video was out, or last week's video was out. So I absolutely loved watching it. Like I said, you know, J. Cole, he's definitely been coined as one of the best lyricists of this generation, and I would definitely have to support that statement. You know, he tells stories through his songs, his music. So I was so here for it. I remember when the album dropped, I did an album review here. I had the album, of course. So I was excited to see how it went, especially because I ain't seen him on tour this summer. I saw a couple of people that I know personally who went to his tour when he came here to Madison Square Garden in New York City. So I was a little bit like, I wish I was there. So even though I wasn't there, I still kind of got to experience, you know, some of it by watching, you know, the docu-series that he did online, and of course when he did the special on HBO. And I keep pointing like HBO's back there, but y'all get what I'm saying because that's my television. But anyway, so what thing that I want to talk about? Oh, okay, so one thing, or one of the things that I wanted to point out, obviously, is that when he did his show in Fayetteville, North Carolina, because this is the homecoming, this was obviously the biggest out of all the shows on the tour. So he brought out 2 special guests. I think it was more people there, but the 2 special guests that, you know, was on stage that, you know, made it big was Drake. Drake came out and performed for the crowd, and then also Jay-Z was there. And if you're into the blogs like moi, then of course, or even social media in general, I'm sure you guys know by now that they were there at that homecoming concert. And then we kind of got to see how it went down on stage for ourselves. Through the movie, we kind of saw what happened when we got backstage. It was just like a big celebration. And one thing that I kind of liked about this was, like, yeah, we got to see the concert, but we also got to see like Fayetteville, North Carolina, and we kind of got to see like where he came from and the people that live there now, and kind of what they think of their hometown, and what, you know, what do they think of J. Cole, and what they feel like, you know, his, you know, contributions to the city has to do. And, you know, it was kind of like a mixture of people. Some people love Fayetteville, some people didn't like Fayetteville, some people thought that, you know, it was never gonna get no better than Fayetteville and stuff like that. And I remember me watching it, I kind of reflected on when I was in North Carolina. If you guys saw my first summer vlog, I went back to North Carolina, and that was actually my first time being in North Carolina since my freshman year of college. And I have mentioned a couple of times here on my channel that my freshman year of college, I went to North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, aka North Carolina A&T, my freshman year, which was in Greensboro. So for the people that, you know, really, I don't want to say didn't like, but, you know, felt like there wasn't much to, you know, Fayetteville. That's how I kind of felt like, you know, when I was in Greensboro, you know, being from New York, being from Brooklyn, and then going down there, it was like a completely like life change. I was in shock. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's nothing down here. I'm so used to the trains, the cars, the big buildings, like, you know, the city that never sleeps is what New York is called, you know, New York City. So like, you know, living in the South, that like really F with my mind. So I kind of like, you know, I related to some people. And then, you know, J. Cole, you know, in the HBO series, you know, he was kind of like driving through his hometown, and he was like talking to the camera. He was like kind of giving us his type of like mindset and stuff like that, which, you know, kind of, you know, it doubled as like the backdrop to his album 2014 Forest Hill Drive. And, you know, basically he was saying at one point in time, you know, being from Fayetteville and growing up, he kind of felt like, you know, by being there, you know, he was never going to make it. It wasn't never, you know, it was just not going to happen. This small town with only a little bit of people, it wasn't going to happen. And of course, we know that eventually he came here to New York. He went to St. John's University. I actually got accepted into St. John's, but, you know, I'm at the school that I'm at now, but whatever. So, but, you know, he kind of came here and, you know, stuff like that. But he kind of like reflected on that, and he had said, and this is one thing that kind of stuck out to me when he was talking, was that it's not about your surroundings. You know, you can't, you know, base your surroundings on whether or not you're going to make it or not. It's all about your mindset. So that kind of was something that stuck with me when I was listening to him speak, that, you know, it's not about where you are. It's not about your location determining your progress. Is all about your mindset and what you're doing to contribute to your progress, to, you know, make it and be where you want to be and stuff like that. So it was amazing. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, I thought the show was just dope. I think for me, I had pinpointed down in my notes that he ended the show off with his song Love Yours. And I remember when I was on Twitter and I was talking about the show, I was saying that I feel like Love Yours, to me personally, has one of like the deepest meanings, like out of like all the songs, because like when you really like sit and listen to that song, like he's basically saying, you know, it's always going to be somebody out there better than you, somebody that's always going to have the better clothes, you know, better whatever. Like somebody will always have something better than you, but you need to, you know, love yours, love what God has given you, the life that you live and stuff like that, because something that you might think is better is not better, or somebody you think that's living better, they might not, to you, your eyes, it might look like they're living better, but it's not really. So, you know, you just got to be satisfied with who you are, you know, what you have. And, you know, that's something I still struggle with, I'm not gonna lie. So, but listening to that song, that definitely had like the deepest meaning. So I thought it was pretty dope that like that was the song that he kind of like ended the concert off with. So overall, I loved it. I thought it was dope. If you guys missed it, y'all missed out, but I'm sure there's ways that you guys can see it if you did not see it. I'm sorry again that I didn't remind y'all in the last video that it was coming on, but it was dope. I loved it. I watched it twice, literally. I watched it back to back. So, but yeah, other than that, I'm gonna move on to my second beat of this week. And my second beat of this week, I have to talk about SoundCloud doing a partnership with Universal Music Group. And basically what this partnership consists of, you know, there's been a lot going on with the whole, you know, music streaming services and, you know, artists having beef, quote unquote, or like, you know, services like with Spotify and stuff. I think like Taylor Swift, she, you know, got all her music pulled from Spotify or something like that, because basically, let's not sit here and act like we don't love free music now. I mean, I buy my music because, you know, I sit here and I do the reviews. I buy it on iTunes, or you guys see me with physical copies. So I buy my music. But, you know, there's these like music streaming services where we get to listen to free music. And while we're listening to free music, you know, these artists that we're listening to, they're not, you know, getting any profit for like their artistry. And even though we like free music, if you were to like place yourselves in the shoes of your favorite artist, I'm gonna work this hard, I'm gonna stay in the studio all these nights, I'm gonna go the extra mile to kind of like, you know, give my fans this music, but I can't like make no type of profit. So I mean, as a consumer of music, I'm like, yeah, it's free music, but you know, I always try to place myself in the other person's shoes to kind of see things from their outpoint. So I kind of get it. So there's been beef between, you know, like music streaming services and like artists and stuff, and we all know that we can go to SoundCloud, you know, people, whether it's like famous artists that we know, or like up and coming artists, or like your homeboy down the block who got a new mixtape dropping. Everybody likes to put their music on SoundCloud, and that's how we kind of listen to it. But SoundCloud will eventually be changing. So what SoundCloud did was they teamed up with Universal Music Group to where they did this partnership that they have access to the music from, you know, just about every artist on their roster, and they get to play it on SoundCloud. But these artists and their labels are, you know, making a profit, which means in order to make that profit, that the regulations, I guess you can say, of SoundCloud will eventually have to change. And, you know, that means you'll eventually have a subscription. So like the subscriptions will include, if you pay this amount, you get to listen to, you know, this amount of songs or download, or however, I don't know the specifics of their subscriptions, or like the prices and the benefits depending on what, you know, price you pay and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be happening this year. There was no definite, you know, date as far as like when these changes were going to be happening to SoundCloud, but for a fact they did sign a deal with Universal. They will have access to all the artists who are under Universal's, and they'll be able to play their catalogs on the roster, and they're going to start getting paid for their music that appears on SoundCloud. And I actually read that aside from Universal, they actually did a deal with Warner Music Group, and then like 20,000 other, you know, independent, you know, record labels, because, you know, SoundCloud is definitely, you know, very beneficial to like a lot of independent artists as well. So what I'll do is I'll link below the official statement on Universal's official website, so you can like read for yourself word for word about what's going on. You get to see what the CEO of SoundCloud said and what the CEO of Universal said and all that other stuff. And comment below and let me know, what do you think about, you know, SoundCloud kind of like switching it up? Like, are y'all here for possibly having to pay for a subscription to listen to music on SoundCloud? Or, you know, do you guys kind of understand and, you know, you're willing to like support your favorite artist or whomever who has like their music on SoundCloud and all of that other stuff? Comment below. Let me know what you think. And we're going to move on to our next beat of the week. And our next beat of the week, we're going to be talking about Lil Mama. So, we all know the infamous Lil Mama interview from Breakfast Club. I believe that was like 2011. If I'm so wrong, I would definitely put the right year. But I'm more than positive that the infamous Lil Mama interview from the Breakfast Club happened back in 2011. And what made this interview so infamous was because they made her cry. Long story short, that's why that interview was infamous. And, you know, it created the memes that we see all over social media and stuff like that. But this past week, Lil Mama, she returned to the Breakfast Club. She came back for more. She came to settle whatever beef was going on and all of that. But that's not how it really went. But, you know, they, right off the gate, in an interview, they talked about the last time she was at the Breakfast Club and who really made her cry. Because, you know, we all thought Charlamagne was the one that made Lil Mama cry. But Lil Mama said that when Charlamagne mentioned that it was actually Angela Yee that made her cry, she was like, I actually looked back at the interview and you was the one that made me cry. And I was like, this mother... And she was like, she was just kidding though. And she's basically explaining her reasoning for why she cried during that interview. And she was just saying that, you know, that was like her first time really like in an interview kind of like speaking about her mom, because we all know that her mom passed away from cancer. So she was like, you know, this was like my first time, like, or that at the time was like her first time really talking about her mom. So she basically, you know, was still dealing with the death of her mom, and she just got emotional. And trust me, I understand that firsthand. So it's like, you know, that's what kind of like trickled, like, you know, her crying and whatnot. So, you know, they kind of smoothed out the whole why Little Mama was crying on the Breakfast Club the last time. They moved past that, and then it was kind of getting into who Little Mama is right now, who she is today. So, of course, we know that one of the biggest things that Little Mama has done within, like, recent years that kind of, like, I guess you can say won people over was when she played Left Eye in the TLC biopic on VH1, which was back in 2013. So when she did that, so, you know, she kind of talked about what it was like, you know, playing Left Eye, because like I said, this was her first time being there since 2011. So she kind of talked about what it was like, you know, playing Left Eye and her relationship with T-Boz and Chili, and kind of like what she learned from them, because we know that past the whole TLC movie and stuff like that, she did a couple of performances with them, and she was saying that one thing that was not, she didn't describe it as like frustrating, but she just wanted people to understand that she was definitely not trying to take Left Eye's, you know, position within TLC and stuff. So, you know, we got a little bit of her like TLC talk that she, you know, shared who she learned from the most, and she talked about how how T-Boz and Chili like work extremely hard. And then she talked about her new music that she has. She also, or she just released a new EP called Take Me Back, which was released back in December. For a fact, I remember because I listened to it, and I would recommend listening to the, you know, mixtape. It's definitely dope. I feel like a lot of people, they do come down on Little Mama, but when you really look at it, you know, she got some lyrics to her. You know, I feel like she should be more credited. And I think I said that before during the summertime when I talked about her video Sausage, but and Sausage is on her mixtape Take Me Back. So she kind of just talked about her music, and she was, you know, kind of like, you know, not crediting, but, you know, she kind of talked about how, you know, they was getting on her, the last interview she did there, and how Charlamagne was getting on her. But she was like, you know what, you know, in your defense, you know, one thing you did say to me was, why aren't you like dropping music and stuff like that? And she had to like really, you know, chill, sit back and look and realize, you know, she said to herself, what was her mom doing at her age, and at the age that she is now, which is like 24, 25 or something like that. She was saying that her mom was having kids and, you know, raising her kids, and she was like, I ain't got no kids, I ain't raising nobody, so I need to get to work. So, you know, she, you know, got to work and stuff like that, and she started getting on her grind and whatnot. And like I said, she has a whole project. So what else I want to talk about from that interview? Was that just everything that I wanted to cover? Let's see. Yeah, that's just about it. So I mean, it was a dope interview. I guess you can say it was like a good recovery or a good catch up from when she was last on the Breakfast Club. So if you guys actually missed that interview, I'll be sure to link that below, and you guys can check it out and let me know what you thought about the interview. Y'all thought, you know, it was a good turnaround from the last time she was there. So, but me personally, I liked it. I thought it was a good interview. You know, she's definitely grown a lot as a person and as an artist and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to see somebody from my hometown, Brooklyn, representing and doing a damn thing. So, moving on to my fourth beat of this week, and I'm not going to hold y'all with this, but I gotta let y'all know that one of the most legendary rap groups they're still breaking barriers years and years later. And the rap group that I am talking about is Run DMC, and Run DMC will be receiving a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award this year. And they're the first ever, you know, rap group to ever receive a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. And Rev Run, he actually took to his Twitter to make the announcement, and this is exactly what he said. He said, I just got a call from the Grammys. They shocked me. We're the first rappers to get this award. Shocked, grateful, God is good. I'm so honored to be a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award recipient this year. Thank you to the Recording Academy. Now, other honorees who will also be, you know, awarded with the Lifetime Achievement Award is Earth, Wind & Fire. Oh, that is long overdue. Earth, Wind & Fire, girl, that they before Run DMC. But Earth, Wind & Fire, Herbie Hancock, Jefferson Airplane, Cecilia Cruz, and Ruth Brown. And the official ceremony where they get their Lifetime Achievement Award happens in the springtime, because we know the Grammys is in the next couple of weeks, but they don't receive that award at the Grammy Awards, but they are still being honored by, you know, the Grammys Recording Academy and stuff like that. But that happens down the line sometime in the summertime. There's no official date, but I know it does happen in the summertime, in the springtime. So that happens in the springtime. It doesn't happen, you know, next month at the Grammy Awards. So, and speaking of Grammy Awards, we're going to keep it moving to our last beat of this week. And this person I'm going to talk about is currently nominated for 11 Grammys at this year's Grammy Awards. And I am talking about Mr. Kendrick Lamar. So it was recently announced yesterday that Kendrick Lamar will be receiving the key to the city, and that city is Compton, where he is from. So congratulations to Kendrick Lamar. He is definitely well deserving. His or the mayor of Compton actually tweeted him and said, "Kendrick Lamar, you inspire millions, plus rep Compton with honor. Excited to give you the key to the city on February 13th. And she said in the statement, "Kendrick Lamar is a phenomenal artist whose work has served as a catalyst to raise a new level of consciousness for this generation. His message challenges the status quo and motivates listeners to rethink our society's institutions. I believe Kendrick Lamar is not only an artist, but an influencer of an entire generation. He represents Compton with great pride, and I am honored to present him with the key to the city, which symbolizes our deep appreciation for his philanthropic work and commitment to our community." And he recently was like this, well, I think, what is it, the 63rd Grand Marshal at their Christmas parade. And last year, back in May, he received the 35th Senate District Generational Icon Award. So, and that was actually a topic that I had made in a former video of when the beat drops. So Kendrick definitely represents his community well, and he's talked about, you know, giving back to the community and actually being present. Like, he doesn't just, you know, here, send this money to Compton. Like, he goes back to the community, he talks to the kids, you know, he, you know, visits like performing arts centers and stuff like that. He's talked about being very, you know, very present within his community. And I remember not too long ago he had did an interview with New York Times magazine, and you know, he kind of talked about that it's still, you know, being a role model and being someone that people look up to is pretty, you know, still new to him, and sometimes it actually scares him, but he realizes now that a lot that he does within his community through his music, that he influences a lot of people. So being an influencer and, you know, being a icon, or, you know, somebody's idol is, you know, it's still pretty new to him. But I mean, I feel like he's definitely well deserving. Like, there's nothing about him that makes me second guess whether or not he deserves all of the accolades that he is currently receiving. So like she said, she will be giving him the key to the city on February 13th, which is 2 days before the Grammy Awards. February 15th, which is my birthday. I just want to throw that out there. You know, that has nothing to do with Kendrick, but I mean, you know, he is nominated for 11 Grammys, and the Grammys just happened to be on my birthday this year. Just wanted to throw that out there. But yes, so 2 days before, you know, one of the biggest nights in music, he will receive the, you know, key to the city. And then, you know, the Grammy Awards is going to happen on the 15th, and he's nominated for 11. I think he has like the most nominations, and I think the most nominations a person has ever had at one time was 12 nominations, and that was Michael Jackson. So to just be like one nomination short of the most is like, I'm sure it's a very, you know, surreal, humbling experience. Like, it has to be the greatest experience in the world. Like, I can only, you know, hope and pray I was to experience something like that. But shout out to Kendrick. He's done an amazing job. He had an amazing year, an amazing album, and he's deserving of everything that's coming his way. So shout outs to Kendrick. So other than that, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's video, and of course, you know I have to end every single video by reminding you guys to comment, like, subscribe, and share. It would greatly be appreciated. And unfortunately, I have no notes to leave you guys with this week, but of course, you know I have to leave you with my song of the week. And honestly, I thought I made this my song of the week because this song has been sitting on my blog since like November, but apparently I never made it my song of the week. But I mean, everything happens for a reason, so this is perfect timing. And the song I am talking about is Love in the 90s by Mack Wilds. and y'all already know how I feel about him. And this week he released the official music video, and it's perfect timing because we know that his movie The Breaks premiered on VH1 last week. It did great, and then, you know, this week comes along and he releases the song for Love in the 90s. He came here to Brooklyn to shoot the video. He shot the video on the block that the legendary movie Do the Right Thing was shot on. So, you know, he had his Brooklyn vibes going on, and it's about love in the 90s, and it has like that 90s vibe. So it was just perfect. I absolutely loved the video. He looked amazing, of course, like from the very first shot. So if you guys actually want to check out the music video in its entirety, you can head over to my blog at www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com. Once again, I thank you for tuning in, and I keep talking with my hands. I'm trying to stop that. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. So bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.